Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm here today to show you guys a chatbot that I want to release, and I called it Islaam Database. So what this chatbot does is it can help you with your research with regards to scholars and students of knowledge in Islam. So let me go ahead and get to the point and show you an example. You can ask, for example, who is Ibn Taymiyyah? And it will get you the information with regards to Ibn Taymiyyah, at least from what I've gathered in my notes. So here you can see the user asked, who is Ibn Taymiyyah? And this can be in any sentence. So you can say, for example, can you please show me who is Ibn Taymiyyah? And I'll even put some typos, for example, Ibn Taymiyyah. And the point is it'll recognize, or at least try its best to recognize, what you asked and who you're talking about. So here it knows you're talking about who is somebody, and here it was able to get the name that you were talking about. And it'll try its best to get information and generate a biography for you. So it can get the titles, it can get the kunya, it can get who he was praised by, who he taught, and so forth, and more information as long as it's available. So here I don't have the death year of Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, but I do have it for other people. So for example, Ibn al-Qayyim. So you can type it here or ask there, who is Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya rahimahullah, and it'll tell you who he was. Or you can ask specific questions because maybe you don't want to look through this little biography. So you can say, when did Ibn al-Qayyim pass away? You know, as long as what you're asking is an English sentence, as long as it's familiar with, common English, and it can recognize what you're asking and give you a correct answer. The spelling doesn't have to be perfect either. You can have typos. You can try your best to spell. For example, you can ask, who is Sheikh Al-Albani? Or you can ask, who is Sheikh Al-Albani? And again, it'll try its best to match what you said with the person in the database. You can even ask maybe who praised someone. So let's say there's people trash talking Sheikh Rabi'a. Well, if you can get somebody trustworthy who praised Sheikh Rabi'a, then you know that person, you can show that proof to the person. Rabi'a. So it'll give you a little list of who he was praised by. Ibn Baz, Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan, Ibn Uthaymeen, and so forth. Maybe you like Sheikh Al-Albani a lot and you want to see who he praised. Who did, or actually, let me ask this instead. So you can see this question here is very similar to this question, but it was able to distinguish whether you're asking for who the person praised or who praised the person, so the other way around. And it was able to give the correct answer. Who did Sheikh Al-Albani praise? And I think what is a common question people might have right now is, where is the information coming from? And it's basically coming from my notes I've collected over the years. And you can ask the bot where that information is. And actually, every piece of information has an authentic source. So for example, here's a long paragraph. So there's a source for why I gave him the title scholar. There's a Salafi source for that. His kunya, there's a Salafi source for that. What later he was from, there's a source for that. Well, really, that's just the year. His birth date, where he lived, everything, every little specific piece of information, there's some source from that, from authentic Islamic websites or speakers or somewhere where I got it from. I just tried my best to collect it inside of a little note. You can even ask about teachers and students who taught Abu Khadija. Actually, I don't think I have information. Yeah, I don't know who the teachers of Abu Khadija are. I mean, I do know, but I like to have sources for them before I type it down. But let's say, for example, who taught Sheikh bin Baz. and this is on the FETA website, alifta.net, I think. So these are the teachers of Sheikh Ibn Baz. You can even get their students. Who were some of Ibn Taymiyyah's students? And it'll give you a list of their students. So sometimes the information may not be available. Who was Imam Shafi'i students? And I don't know if I have anything with regards to this. Okay, I do have something. But for example, who praised Musa Richardson? Now I know he was praised by scholars. Okay, I do have that. Okay, I can't find something, but if there is something where you ask it and it doesn't know the answer to, then this is just because I myself haven't collected it or anything, and I just need to find a source for that. And you're always feel free to contact me to tell me where I could find that source if you do find any information. So the bot can tell you the biography, the teachers, the students, and who praised the person and who the person was praised by. And right now I'm using Facebook Messenger. Let me exit full screen. This is just on Facebook Messenger right now. You can just go to m.me/Islam Database. Islam has 2 A's and there's no space or anything. If you don't have Facebook, then you can also use the web client here. So this works the same way. You know, I can ask it, Assalamu alaikum, and it'll give me a similar response. Who is Khadija? And it basically works the same way as it did in Facebook Messenger. But there are a couple of differences. One of them being Facebook Messenger just looks nicer. And Facebook Messenger can give you these little suggestion chips so you can have a better conversation and a longer conversation and get more information out of the bot. Here you don't get suggestion chips, you only get text, just because that's just the way Google made this platform here, or this client. I have some notes on this video. So sleeping. So sometimes when nobody's using the bot will go to sleep. That just saves on, you know, paying for the bot to be alive. If I let it sleep, it'll be much cheaper. So you might ask a question, it'll just give you no response. If that happens, all you need to do is just ask the question again, because right when you ask it the first time and it gives no response, it just woke up and you can ask the question again. So with that, thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, feel free to give me feedback. You can just contact me on Facebook or on Discord. I'm on like all the time. And there's one information I forgot to leave out, which is this URL is kind of long and ugly, but you can just go to islamdatabase.com and it'll just forward you straight to it. So that's islamdatabase.com, 2 A's and no space or anything between Islam and database. So please feel free to use the bot. Try to get as much information on it. Give me some feedback. I plan to make it better over the days to come, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.